Hey everyone, it's Cold Brew here with another Rachel Legends video. Guys, I've got my cold brew coffee right here and we're gonna go through my Skullcrusher. Skullcrusher is my recent addition to my champions roster. As you guys know, Skullcrusher is a counter-attack champion. He's one of the 3 in the game. He's an epic champion. He's one of the most wanted champions in the game just because of his counter-attack buff to the game. So we're gonna go through my Skullcrusher. I have him fully maxed. His skills are fully maxed, and we're gonna go through how I set him up for my counter-attack team in the clan boss, but also where else I use my Skullcrusher. So I also use him in one of the dungeons, and we'll go through that much later. First of all, guys, Skullcrusher needs a lot of survivability, so I went with the lifesteal set and a defense set for now because these are the best ones I have currently. They of course need an upgrade because I even have an uncommon shield right here. The accuracy, you don't even need accuracy on Skullcrusher. So first of all, the focus on Skullcrusher for me was getting speed, health, and then anything else was bonus. Basically critical rate and critical damage would be a bonus. You don't need any accuracy at all, so maybe if you want to go resistance as well if you use him in arena, but mostly you're gonna focus on HP percentage, defense percentage, and maybe HP flat instead if you don't want to go a bit of critical rate to get that extra bit of damage. But for me, I try to focus on getting some speed, HP on the gloves. Helmet has a lot of defense there, HP percentage, and some critical damage, but that was just an unlucky roll. His shield as well, it has some speed because I needed that amount of speed to reach the threshold for Skullcrusher. We're gonna go through that a bit later. On the gloves, I have defense percentage, of course, a lot of speed, and then the other stats are just random because these were the best defense gloves I had at the moment. His chest is HP percentage. I would rather have defense, but for now, HP percentage will do with some defense substat. HP flat, resistance flat. I didn't have any speed on this because I didn't want to pass the threshold. And then we went for speed boots, HP percentage, resistance, critical damage, critical rate. Of course, these are only here for the speed and the 2-set bonus to match the 2-set bonus. So overall, my Skullcrusher stats, guys, are 50,000 health, 1,500 attack. We don't care really about that. 3.4k defense, 171 critical rate, 37%, 88% critical damage. These don't really matter at the moment. Some resistance and accuracy, of course. The reason I have Skullcrusher at 171 speed, guys, is because the clan boss has 170 speed. So you want your Skullcrusher to be as slow as possible, but faster than the clan boss. So the clan boss does not go before your Skullcrusher. You want to have your Skullcrusher apply his counter attack buff on everyone, and then the boss will go and do his AoE. For ring, I have a defense ring right here with some defensive stats as much as possible, really. The amulet, the same thing right here. The HP flat, it's okay, but maybe defense would be better for him. I have some defense here, but that's not a lot. I mean, you would get much more if this was the primary. And then for the banner, guys, I went for a resistance banner because it had the best defensive stats available for me at the time. My other banners were not that great. I mean, I had this accuracy banner with HP flat and defense. I was thinking about getting this instead, but then I would lose a bit of defense. So I said, we'll see. Maybe I have some other place to put this banner on. So these are the items for my Skullcrusher, guys. We're gonna go through his skills. His A1, guys, is very basic A1. Attacks one enemy and places a heal reduction debuff. You don't need to book it, but if you book it, you get that little bit of extra damage. And because I'm gonna use Skullcrusher for the long term until maybe I get something better, but I don't know. I don't think I'll get anything better anytime soon. I don't even have shards to summon, so I maxed it out. It only took 4 books here. And then we go through his A2. This is what makes Skullcrusher so good. With just 1 book, it has a 3-turn cooldown and places 50% ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. Places a counterattack buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns, and places an unkillable buff on this champion. So not only it protects your allies, not only it applies a counterattack buff on them, but it also places an unkillable on Skullcrusher. So it makes him so much more tankier for the clan boss because you never know that RNG hit from the clan boss is gonna kill him immediately. So even if you get a bit unlucky, he will survive, but it only goes for 1 turn. So let's look at his passive, guys. Unshakable decreases the duration of all debuffs on this champion by 1 turn at the start of each turn. So this is great, of course. It decreases the duration of all debuffs, but it does not resist being stunned. So you have to be careful with that because if he gets stunned and he was supposed to put his counterattack buff on, then you'll be in trouble because you're gonna miss the rotation, and then yeah, your damage for the run will be much less. So his aura is just an ally resisting faction creeps. This was a recent addition with the faction creeps, so nothing crazy right there. And his masteries, we're gonna go through his masteries right here. I went for offense and defense. I didn't go for the support tree right there because I do not want to mess at all with the rotation. I do not want any of the buffs extended, and I just want him to have as much defensive stat as possible, but also have the chance to counterattack. If my Skullcrusher is low on health and gets a counterattack on the clan boss with a War Master hit, then he gets healed a lot with the lifesteal set. So yeah, it's great overall to go for the defensive tree. And the offensive tree, I just went everywhere offensive right here. For the offensive tree, I just went a bit of damage up until War Master. I didn't want to take any of the other masteries in the defensive tree. I didn't find them that useful, especially for the clan boss. And because I didn't want to get any masteries that increase my turn meter, I didn't go, for example, for Cycle of Revenge. So I went for Kill Streak because I also use my Skullcrusher. There was a fly right there. Because I also use my Skullcrusher in one of the dungeons. These are his masteries, guys. So guys, I have 2 keys right now to do the Nightmare Clan boss. We're gonna see how much damage I do with my setup. It's void, so my damage is not gonna change due to affinity. So this is the team I currently use. I use Rearguard Sergeant because of her lead. She has a good attack down skill. She has an ally protection buff that's a bit dangerous sometimes because as a clan boss gains damage, he just does a lot of damage to every single one of them. I also have tuned every one of them to have more speed than Skullcrusher, so they will go before Skullcrusher, and then Skullcrusher will apply his counterattack buff, and then the boss will start doing his AoE and the counterattacks will start rolling. So right here, I usually used Juliana instead for my clan boss team. These are the champions I have currently, but because Juliana has a skill that increases her turn meter, it usually will mess up my team's rotation, at least hers, so she'll lose the counterattack buff eventually. So instead I use Grizzled Jarl. Grizzled Jarl, if you've seen my video, he has a great overall kit for the clan boss. He has a defense up, he has a block debuffs buff, he's also a defensive champion, applies an attack down, so overall he does great damage with his A1. He's a great addition to your team. The only one I would replace at the moment on my team would be Rearguard. If I got something better, I'm actually thinking of going for Bulwark there. And then Althar, I don't know yet, but Althar does a lot of damage on the clan boss. I had a clan boss fight that Althar did over 10 million damage. So overall, this team works for me. I usually do 2 keys for the Nightmare clan boss, depending on the affinity. If it's a bad affinity, I'm definitely gonna need 3 keys. But also, due to some RNG, sometimes I just need 3 keys. But 3 keys is good. I'm gonna keep it on auto so you guys see the rotation. Althar went, then my Razin went, Rearguard, Grizzled, and then Skullcrusher applied all the buffs, and then everyone is gonna now start attacking with their counterattack buff. So look at them, they all have defense up due to Grizzled Jarl, and so they do so much more damage, especially Grizzled Jarl and Razin, who are defensive champions. So Althar's damage, guys, is mostly due to his poisons. He's the only one applying poisons right now, so I don't care about the debuffs going on right now. The only thing I would change is not getting that heal reduction debuff on the boss, but right now I don't have a problem with applying the poisons and keeping poisons up, since the only poisoner here is Althar. So I don't care about the number of debuffs I'm going, but essentially with the counterattack team, guys, you guys wanna be wary about the debuffs on the boss, so you don't have any debuffs that are unnecessary, like a heal reduction debuff right there. So I think this team usually goes for about 6 minutes. The same rotation is going every single time. My team now has ally protection up, increased defense, and block debuffs. So everything is great, guys. Decrease attack. Now the counter attack buff is going right before the boss does his AoE, so everyone will attack with the counter attack buff. Everyone has either War Master or Giant Slayer, so their damage is multiplied by 4 hits right there every single time the AoE hits. So this is great, guys. The reason I'm thinking of putting Bulwark in rearguard's place is because I already have an attack down with Grizzled Jaw, and Bulwark is a defense champion with a good defense aura. He has a great passive, which might help my Althar do more damage. He also applies an HP burn, so overall I think he would be great to have for the clan boss, but the problem is his stats are not that great, being a rare champion. All of these champions are either epic or legendary, so my damage might fall off, but I just want to test out Bulwark. I have him at rank 5. I might take him to rank 6 sometime soon and get his masteries, but that's a bit of an investment. I'll see. And guys, if you have Bulwark in the comments, if you had a similar team with Bulwark, just comment down below so I know if it's really worth it. I've seen a few videos with Bulwark and some of them seem that he's worth it, but so guys, this is my team. This is what's gonna happen for the next 3 or 4 minutes. I'm gonna skip right to the end. We'll see how much damage they do and I'll let you know. So guys, this was my nightmare run. Over a bit over 7 minutes right there. I had an unlucky hit with Rearguard Sergeant. She didn't get a War Master proc right there. If she got that War Master proc, she would survive a little bit more and do a bit more damage right there. But 19.34 million damage, this is not enough for 2 keys. If I do the same run again and do 19.34, then I'm gonna be about 1 million off getting max rewards from the Nightmare Clan boss. I'm gonna do another key right now. I'm just gonna skip right to the end and show you guys the damage. Hopefully we get enough damage to get 2 keys for the Nightmare Clan boss. So let's get to it. So guys, for the second run we did under 19 million this time, 18.29 million. So I'll need to do another key a bit later on today. Hopefully I'll have time because it's the 31st and I have to do a lot of stuff. I hope everyone is having a good time today. My Skullcrusher did about 1.8 million. The rest of them, Althar did the most amount of damage, of course. My Razin did 3.4, Rearguard 2.7, 2.6 on Grizzled. Overall guys, if I can get the damage to go a bit up, a bit higher than this, then I'll be able to do 2 keys for the Nightmare Clan boss. So guys, next up is the Fire Knight's Castle. This is where my Skullcrusher helped me decrease my time to 4 minutes 22 seconds. I used to use Fellhound for this at level 50 and it took me about 8 minutes and it wasn't a 100% run. So guys, my team looks like this: Apothecary, Razin, Molly, Skullcrusher, and Cold Heart right there. Razin and Cold Heart with the multi-hit A1s. Also Apothecary with the multi-hit A1, the support right there, the speed buffs, everything. Apothecary is a great champion, guys. And then Skullcrusher gives the counter-attack buff to everyone. So when the Fire Knight comes and hits the team, everyone will hopefully have a counter-attack buff going and hit back on the boss. With the counter-attack buff, the A1, his A1 and Cold Heart's A1 are all gonna just deplete the Fire Knight's shield. So this makes the Fire Knight even easier, and because Skullcrusher is forced, there's no issues with affinity right there, getting hit with more damage and all that. So guys, if you didn't know, Molly is a great champion for the dungeons. She applies a multiple provoke to all enemies. It can go to 2 turns also, but there's some RNG with that. Skullcrusher of course helps out the team for the waves with the counter attack buffs going, and also with doing a bit of damage by himself. Hopefully now we'll get Apothecary to heal Molly. Those two together are really great for the dungeons because Molly gets hit, there's no way for her to get the health back. The way I have her set up, I have her defense and support, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and Apothecary is there to heal her up when she gets a bit low, and hopefully he gets a lot of turns because he has a lot of speed going for him. And Cold Heart does what Cold Heart does, so she does a lot of damage overall up until to the boss where she does extreme amount of damage because of her A3. And Razin is overall helpful with his A1, his defense down, weaken, turn meter reduction, everything, just everything. Razin is an amazing champion and I don't know when I'm gonna stop using him. I think never, with the luck I'm having with the shards, guys. So yeah, we're gonna try and get through the waves. The waves usually take about 3 minutes. We're at 1 minute 50, 45. Yeah, for the next wave. These go really long time because I do not have a way to decrease their defense as an AoE. I only have Razin, and because I cannot replace any of my other team members at the time being, I could maybe replace Razin with Spider. I recently got Spider, but Razin just gives so much utility with his turn meter reduction, with his A1 that removes buffs. I don't know if I can replace him just for the Fire Knight. I mean, if it's worth it to level up a champion just for the Fire Knight. I'm just gonna go with the teams I have right now. Yep, Heartseeker. There we go. It's just gonna take a bit longer, guys. This is what it is, just trying to grind through Fire Knight. But once you get a good team for Fire Knight 20, then when the Fire Knight tournaments are up, you can just load up on energy, do the Fire Knight tournament, get the maximum rewards from there. I mean, from the base rewards, not the first place rewards. You get the maximum rewards there if they're worth it. Like if it's a 5-star chicken, then in my opinion, it's worth it, depending on how many points you need. And yeah, the Fire Knight can actually drop a few good items that are useful everywhere. For now, the ones I'm focusing on from Fire Knight and hoping for actually are the critical damage sets. If I can get a good amount of sets with critical damage, yeah, then my Cold Heart and my Royal Guard are gonna have such an easier time in the Spider. Guys, by the way, if you want a Cold Heart and the Royal Guard guide and the showcase of them by me, for the ones I have, just leave a comment down below, because I don't know if you guys want me to make a video guide on them, because there are already so many guides on every single champion basically. So but of course everyone might have them built a bit different than others. So now you see Cold Heart did her Heartseeker. Well, the shield is on, so she didn't deplete the turn meter, so now he's gonna hit everyone. Hopefully Cold Heart won't die. Yeah, she didn't die. That's good. She's so squishy with the items I have on her. She usually gets one hit. So now hopefully my Skullcrusher will have the buff going on right now to everyone. We got a bit of heal, but she'll die. She'll die with the AoE for sure. No, she didn't die. Oh yeah, because of the ally protection. Yeah, I just remember ally protection at 50%, so that's why she didn't die. Okay, now everyone hit with their A1 right there, but they're all a bit low. Okay, we deplete the turn meter, so hopefully my Apothecary will have enough time to heal everyone right back up. Only Razin is at full health. Okay, we got ally protection up going again, so that's good. Hopefully the boss will go now and not kill anyone. Very nice. You see that unkillable on my Skullcrusher just saved him. And everyone is saved because of the ally protection. So overall, guys, Skullcrusher is amazing. This run is going for so long just because of the RNG. We had a bit of unlucky RNG with the Heartseeker. If we can get Heartseeker going from the first turn, I mean, decrease the boss's shield and then get a Heartseeker on, then the boss won't do anything at all. And this will make the run so much easier. Some people have actually told me to level up Allure for this, but Allure is magic and the boss is force, so she's gonna have trouble in applying her turn meter reduction. So yeah, even at level 20, I know she's good for the other stages, but at 20, yeah, you either need Spirit, Force, or Void, so you don't have that RNG factor to also make you lose the run. So 6 minutes, guys. This went longer than I expected, but we got a 5-star item with speed. It's a savage item, so this is really nice as a savage item with speed, but the substats are not that good, attack and defense. If it was critical rate and critical damage, this would be so much better. But no, attack and defense is also a rare. It's not an epic or a legendary, so even worse. But overall, guys, you saw what Skullcrusher can do to the Fire Knight. So guys, we're gonna go and do some PvP with Skullcrusher. I use him in this kind of team sometimes, although my team does not usually use Skullcrusher. He's not set up for Arena right now with his skills in Masteries, but I mean, the Masteries are okay, I guess, for Arena. They could be better. But what I want to show you guys is how Skullcrusher helps Mountain King with a single target damage do a lot more. Because of the counterattack buff, he applies the counterattack buff on the Mountain King. So Mountain King does so much more damage. Okay, we got frozen right there. Let's deplete their turn meter before they kill me. Okay, let's get the counterattack buff going. Remove some of the buffs. I want to kill Ray because she's the one that I'm mostly scared of. Boom, there, the counterattack buff worked. Let's try and kill off the enemies with Mountain King. Guys, by the way, if you want a Mountain King video by me, just leave it down in the comments. See, the counterattack buff works so nice versus AoE champions. So there we go. By the way, guys, if you have Skullcrusher and Skullcrown, they go amazingly together. Because they both have an unkillable. And if you can get the counters going on them, like if you have Skullcrown with the counter passive, then it is so much better. So guys, this was the video. I'm not gonna... Let's show another game. I'm trying to find harder teams because these are not hard for me. I mean, even by the power. Okay, the power is due to Mountain King's stats. He's got a lot of health and resistance, but 170 here. This is no trouble. Level 50 versus level 50. Let's get the counterattack buff going. Let's kill Kaimar. And maybe rear guard. Okay, we got hit by Martyr. Mountain King is gonna go in with his A1 due to the counterattack buff. Very nice. Overall, having a counterattack buff is great, guys. Only 3 champions in the game. I hope they release another one sometime soon, but I'm sensing that they won't because they haven't so far. I think they didn't understand how much stronger a counterattack buff would be. The reason counterattack buff is so good, guys, is because of War Master and Giant Slayer, especially for the clan boss. In Arena, yeah, War Master and Giant Slayer are not that great, but still the counterattack buff helps, especially on defensive teams. So guys, this was my Skullcrusher video. This is the Skullcrusher I have, and this is how I use him in the arena, the dungeons, and the clan boss. Okay, arena, I don't really use him that much. If you like this video, leave a like down below. Comment on how you built your Skullcrusher differently. I'm hoping to get actually some good speed sets right here. If I can get a good speed set with defense as primary on the boots, this will be so much better. So I can reach that 171 speed with Skullcrusher. And not need the primary half speed, so he's more he has more defensive stats. Being a defensive champion, it will be so much better for him. His power is gonna go way higher because of his defensive stats. So overall, I think he will be so much better. So guys, remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I guess I'll see you next year. I'll see you in the next one, which is gonna be next year. So yeah, next year, which is 2020. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. See ya.